friends, and welcome back. We're gonna do, because I gotta squeeze this in, we're gonna do an update video in the rain. It's currently drizzling and it's not terrible. Like, it's not pouring. It was raining harder earlier. Okay, this is the leaf Greenstalk. Look at how it is doing. If you know I have chickens, then you're going to hear chicken noises. Okay, when I was just up there on the deck, I could see this from a distance. See those little black specks? Some type of bug. So beans are up at the top. I have been finding these little black specks and I just scrape them off or I smush them. I don't know what it is yet exactly because it's so little. Okay, so beans aren't exactly at the top. This is the first level right here. We have celery. Mine's on the spinner base. My Italian striped zucchini is up with an nasturtium. Oh my goodness, they're crazy. These are pickling cucumbers. There was 2 plants in here and you can see they're starting to get pretty big. This leaf doesn't look the greatest. I think I'm just going to pluck it off. Sorry about my arm. Okay. So 2 cucumbers are right there. I have celery. And then this is the early prolific summer squash. Is doing something. Looking pretty good. Check the underneath your leaves, even if you are using a Greenstalk. Okay. And then, let me make sure I didn't miss a spot. And then I have a sunflower and a marigold in this one. Okay, this next level is beans. As you can see, the beans are going all the way up. I don't know if I did that right. Not sure. If you're new here, hi. I'm Melody. Welcome to Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. First time I'm going to push my Greenstalks to the limit and try to grow a bunch of food. See what it does for me. See what works. See what doesn't work. And then bring you along for the journey so that if you have them or maybe you don't have space, you'll know if this will work or not work. So either these plants were done by seed and I planted them in, or I direct sowed some seeds. Okay. Beans, like I said, they're getting these little black specks constantly on the underneath of the leaves, but nothing dramatic. They're just going up pretty high. I'm wiggling it. Okay, so all the beans are fine on the second row. Third row, and I had this question, is, do I feel as if any of the plants will shade out other plants? I'm sure. I mean, it's bound to happen to some of them. I'm just also doing an inspection while I'm out here because it's not raining real hard. What I do, I'm bending down. What I do, there's the third row right there. I'm trying to move a chair out of my way. Is I will spin this different directions. What I'm doing now is I'm starting to remove like really big leaves so it doesn't block out anything else. Like right there is a pepper plant. I think one of these leaves were a little too big, so I removed it. There's my tomatoes. This one's an orange bell pepper. This is a sugar yellow tomato, which is doing well and going all the way up here, if you can see that, which I'm not really concerned because it's only beans up there, so I guess that was an okay spot for it. Here's the eggplant. Not doing too bad. Right there's the eggplant. Spin it. We have jalapeno pepper. Constantly gets like a cobweb on this one. I just come over and I just shake it. But looky. I wanted to show you. I have some jalapeno peppers going. And lots of flowers. Okay. Next is this tomato plant. Can you see this? This is that cherry husky red, and it's going all the way up, and it's doing pretty good. Just checking the tag. Something else was in here. I'm not really sure. No, that's just a leaf. Take off the lower leaves the same way you would if it was in the grounds. And then, yeah, so that's the red husky. And then my other eggplant. So, my Rosa Bianca, everything's doing pretty good. I just keep inspecting it. But that got pretty tall too. And then below it, it's a little bit crazy. A little bit cray-cray, my friends. This is, wow, really? I don't have my glasses on. Let me just pull this stick out. Summer squash right here. And look at it. It's getting huge. That's the leaves. There's the plant. So this is on the 1, 2, 3, 4th level we're on right now. Yeah, this is the summer squash. Might hear a little wind. My orange bell pepper is doing good, but a little bit puny. And I think my nasturtium is going wild. So, like leaves like this, if I'm worried about it blocking out a plant, I just remove it. I have scraps down there. I can give them to the chickens and give it some room. And I just maneuvered that leaf down. So there's a pepper. Don't forget I have some mysterious peppers that decided to germinate, and I don't know which ones I planted. Another pepper right there that's doing good, not being shaded out. I did prune. Excuse me. I think I just swallowed a gnat. Anyway, nothing shading that one out. This one here is, though, and this is probably a mistake. Mysterious pepper, you can see these little bites. It's starting to now get some buds, but that one might not be the greatest, and I think it's because I plucked off a couple of the cauliflower leaves to stop shading that plant out. So this is a cauliflower. We'll have to see if it makes it. If I think it's not going to make it due to my weather getting too hot, I'm just going to take the whole thing out and feed it to the chickens. But you can literally see the roots right there. This bad boy's getting pretty big. And you know, the cabbage moths love finding stuff like this. So I think it's definitely affecting this pepper plant. So what I could do is come in, pull down, and snap off a leaf that's in the way. But I don't want to prune it too much. I already took some off of it. So that's the cauliflower. And this is another, I think, squash. Yeah, it's not a cucumber. Another squash. And another pepper. So just this one leaf's in the way and the plant's still a baby. So I just go in and I just take off the lower leaves. But doing good overall. And we're back to the summer squash. The bottom. Well, we're not on the bottom yet. Let's see. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th layer. This is cabbage. And because of the cauliflower, it is getting chewed. There's 2 in here. I'm going to have to make a choice to leave one, get rid of the other. But this one over here, let's see if I could separate it. Has more chew marks. This one looks a little bit better. But I'm just leaving it. So, it's a form of a cabbage. It might be like the shorter version cabbage. I'm not sure if it's the early Copenhagen, not 1,000% sure. Then in between this nasturtium, as you can see, the nasturtium's becoming a problem. I go like this to the nasturtium, and I start pushing it down because the nasturtium is getting pretty wild. Nasturtiums help with bugs, repelling bugs. Also, the whole plant's edible. The leaves taste like pepper when the flowers bloom. That is edible. You could put that in your salad, but it is blocking off my cheddar cauliflower. But I'm just leaving it. Every time I catch an nasturtium getting too bonkers, I take the stems and I put it underneath the trellis here. So it doesn't keep doing that, you know, to that cup. Next, as you can see, it's completely being hidden. So I don't know about nasturtium being in the Greenstalk so far because it's blocking things out. But it is protecting this one a little bit more, so maybe this will stay in a lot longer. I think this is a red acre cabbage. Okay, there's actually 2 in here. Maybe a seed germinated, but this one's getting pretty big. And then I just spin it, and here's that graffiti cauliflower that's getting chewed on that leaf there. There's 2 in here. This has no leaves left. And honest to goodness, I don't even see the bug. Like, I don't know if it's doing it early morning, because, you know, I get up pretty early and I check things, and I'm just not figuring out what's chomping on that. I'm trying to keep my eye on it, but I'm not pulling it yet. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so this is struggling, the graffiti cauliflower. It's not struggling from another plant or being shaded out. It's being chomped on by the critters. And then that leads us back to, this may be a broccoli or a cauliflower, which is doing fine. And it's not interfering with anything. And yeah, looks good. Then on the bottom, the sugar snap peas never came up. I thought I dropped something in there, so I'm not 1000% sure if I actually did or didn't, but there's nothing coming up. This is a little basil plant right here. It's little. And I'm like, oh, it's getting weeds. No, I think that is the garlic chives, so I'm just leaving that alone. And then I have a dwarf marigold in here, which is doing fine. Celery, doing fine. Another celery, doing fine and getting big. From what I understand with celery, you can either leave it go fully, or you can just come out when you need some celery and cut some pieces off. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I'm just going to let it go. And then it's the big nasturtium down there. That is wild. And this is all in one cup, this nasturtium. I mean, I'll back up in a minute. And then we're back to the sugar snap pea. That's nothing in there. So hopefully this basil does a little bit better, because it's not being blocked out by anything. And I do turn it in the sun. It's drizzling. Obviously, I've already stated that. So this is the leaf right here. This is how it's doing. I wanted to give you an update, full tour. And it's doing pretty well. This bean plant here, though, trying to tuck it under. Okay, so let me go from the top to the bottom. I'm just gonna spin it, but I mean, can you? Look at how wild this nasturtium got. So that's something to keep in mind. I looked at nasturtium because it protects from bugs, and then one marigold because it helps with the bugs. I'm trying to get this off. The marigold's doing fine. These 2 leaves here don't look the greatest. That one and this one. But we'll wait and see what happens. Okay, so the top, I'm just going to keep spinning it. I'll go from the bottom on up. My noisy chickens. Nasturtium's wild. And then, you know, because that's being attacked, it doesn't look that full right there. The beans, everything looked pretty good. Just these little black specks. So that is the Greenstalk. There's some flowering on the beans happening. Hopefully his dog does not decide to start barking. And I think I have to sneeze. Yeah, I just sneezed. Oh boy. Never fails. Come out here and start sneezing. She doesn't like anybody near the fence. I'm surprised she's even out here because she's petrified of rain. So, let me keep spinning for you. But there we go, my friends. I mean, this is doing phenomenal. This is the leaf Greenstalk, I think is what I was trying to say. And doing good. Let's go on to my other Greenstalk, which is the original. And let me show you how that is doing. Bam! Look at that. It's going crazy. I need the verticals for this one over here. So, brought you along so I could plant some of the cups out. And we have different array of peppers. This is on the spinner base as well. I took this one off of my other leaf that's in the back, and I put it on this so I could spin it around. Peppers all on the bottom, doing good. This one is like huge. Look at this pepper plant going all the way up. This is a jalapeno pepper. So that one is much bigger. And this one is the shishito pepper plant. That's doing good. It has some blooms. The next is the sweet banana pepper, which is doing good. I am dealing with a little bit of a leaf hangover because I didn't prune. Let me take that sucker off, and then I'm going to snap it right off because you should be removing the lower leaves. And now that just gives that a little bit more light. So you still have to prune tomato plants even if they're in here. This is a sucker. Here's your main stalk. Here's a branch. There's your sucker right in the middle there. And I'm kind of leaving it, but I will take off these little ones, free up that pocket. And this is pretty much the same way you would do it if it was in the ground. So the bigger leaf may have been blocking a little bit from this pepper plant. But all the peppers are doing fantastic. Doing really good. I'm going to be producing peppers soon. Remember, I did this one later. And then up above is all different types of tomatoes. Probably some tomato plants that shouldn't even be in here, like Kellogg's Breakfast. I think Dr. Witchy's. Mysterious tomatoes, because I had a tray I brought out here. I gave up. Nothing was coming up, and then suddenly tomatoes came up and peppers came up. So I'm not sure what's what exactly, but I think these are going to be big tomatoes, and that's why I need another trellis. There's my basil plant in here. I did pick some off to put with my pasta, but you would treat this basil the same way if you saw my video of pruning it. I could go in here right now and just take off. Let me see. I'm trying to see it first. Sorry, my friends. Just go down to the next two leaves. Pinch it off. I want to try some basil tea, so I might use that for that. So I do have a nice looking basil plant in there. Look at the size of this tomato plant. It's a big ums. It's definitely a big ums. Watch it be either rainbow tomato or Kellogg's Breakfast. I technically don't need that leaf. Remove your lower leaves. Again, so I don't sound like a broken record. Treat your tomato plants in your green stalks the same way you would if they were in the ground. Don't leave lower leaves touching the dirt. You'll get diseases, and it's blooming, and it is big. Look at it. Very big. And this is just on the second layer. This is a sucker. I'm going to remove this lower leaf on that tomato plant. So, yeah, all the tomatoes are doing really good. The peppers are doing good. And then we move up. All different types of peppers are in here. This one here, I had to move that leaf over so it doesn't block this pepper plant, but it's doing good. Now this one might be a slight problem. Let me look at the tomato plant. I'm just going to take off this little leaf right there so that it has a little bit more light. But somebody did ask me the question like about shading and all, and this is my first time trying to use this for food production. So it's going to be a great learning experience. I was a little afraid to put all my plants in one basket, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so this is a monstrous tomato plant that needs some form of trellising. Peppers. Remember, they're still young yet. They were planted much later. This one's doing good. Doing good. Keep spinning. It's a little chilly. I have this little gray zip up thing on. Another pepper plant doing good. So these are all peppers, and then peppers on the next level going up. It's either going to be squash or cucumber, but I think it's squash. It just magically appeared. And then pickling. These are the pickle bush cucumbers. They're in. No flowers yet, but they germinated. They're up. They're good. I planted them with you all. Squash. Doing good. This basil looks a little bit funny if you see the color. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. See that little bit of yellowing? I think I know what happened here, but I'll explain in a second. Let me finish showing you. Pepper. You get the gist. Okay, let's go up to the top. This is kale. I put kale in there. This is supposed to be cantaloupe. Remember, I put cantaloupe in. Nothing ever came up. Have a pepper plant. This looks like an oopsie. There's a cabbage in there with the pepper. So worst case scenario, I have another pepper plant I could put in there, or I can move that cabbage to that cup. My borage is doing good. This is a dwarf nasturtium, which may have been better than doing a full nasturtium down there. And this is the gazinias. I showed the package inside my live. They all germinated. They're coming up as soon as they bloom. I will be sure to show you what that looks like. They say it's a cross between a zinnia and I think a daisy. So, and back to the kale, because this cantaloupe didn't do anything, and it's pepper with a red cabbage and my borage. So that leaves me a hole available. Like I said, I can either put that little cabbage I spotted, that little seed, or do something else in there. See, there it is. Random seed came up. But let me stand back and show you. Don't mind all my cuttings. I have a pile there, and I got a little pile over there. But it looks amazing. I'll spin it for you. So I'll go from the top down to the bottom, because you all know what's in here. Different tomatoes. These are just getting big. Worst case scenario is this is what I'm thinking. I wouldn't want to have to lift these up to take them off. But maybe if I'm really nice to Thomas, he might do it for me. I don't really have anything on the bottom there that needs trellising. And Jean gave one of her trellises to her sister. That should leave her two. Maybe she'll loan me one. I don't know. What I was thinking is I could move the tomatoes down to the bottom, move the peppers up, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Even though the book says you should put bigger vegetables down at the bottom. This is my first time doing this. Live and learn. I don't even know if I would want these on the bottom. I think it would still block off some of the peppers. So maybe like the way I did my other one, dead smack in the middle, and it could go up. So that's what might end up happening here with the tomatoes, but I'll keep you posted on that if I end up doing that. If not, I don't know. I'm just going to have to keep trimming leaves. Sorry if it keeps getting blurry. I'll have to keep trimming some leaves, or you get a vertical, ouch, a little trellis to put on here. But I'm thinking, because of the size of this, it's got to be like a Kellogg's breakfast tomato plant. And I'm thinking that this should probably go up to here. Just my opinion. But this is what it looks like. It's doing well, my friends. There was a little leaf curling going on, but I think Thomas, when he was being asked by Jean to water things, because there's hers over there, he was watering too much because I started to see a little bit difference with the soil. Okay. This is what I did. I put some fish emulsion in the top, like poured it down the hole on both of these some time ago. And ever since I did that, I felt like the soil looked like this. Like this feels dry and yet it's raining out here. So this middle isn't getting much water. That's the first thing I noticed. And it looked like it was starting to dry it out. So I'm not doing fish emulsion all the time. I did it once because I obviously put worm casting in there, but it needed a quick jolt. Don't overdo it, my friends. And I have to go in the middle row and give that more water. So that I did notice. This one's getting water fine, but it also had that weird drying kind of look. I think that came from the fish emulsion, just to keep it real with you. I have a gallon in the back. I don't even use a whole tablespoon. So that kind of scared me because once I did it, I saw soil color change. And do watch the middle. I don't know if it's because the bean leaves are blocking it, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out this year. So this needs definite water, this middle row on this leaf one. And this could use some water. And we had a torrential downpour the other day. It really shouldn't be feeling dry, but it does. And this one's not. It's nice and wet. So, I don't know. And then right next to the two, I have a Cosmo. I don't have the name right in front of me, but I did 2 different types of marigolds that I wouldn't normally do. I did borage. That looks like borage to me. Yeah. And this is a zinnia. I transplanted, and here comes the rain. It's starting to rain, which you would, hopefully it gets this stuff here. But I thought that I would come out here, give you a tour of the 2 Greenstalks. Like, this is absolutely gorgeous. Can we not agree? This is gorgeous. And yeah, that's how it's looking. That's a few things that I noticed. The middle's getting a little dry, or like that second row is getting a little dry. And just, I feel like the beans are attracting some bugs. So I try to check the leaves like a couple times a day to play it safe. And I'll give them to the chickens. This one's doing good. It just was started later. But overall doing good. Jeans, I'll do in a whole different video because if you can see, let me see if I could show you. I'm not sure if you can see. It is now suddenly starting to rain a little bit harder. Not too bad, but we'll see. So this will get a good water in from the rain. Yeah, but I mean, this is filling out. It's doing good. I just might have to make some adjustments on what level these tomatoes are going to be in, even if I have to get somebody to help me move these cups. So they're doing great so far. And my overall opinion is it's a little weird that the middle's not getting water. It's not really being blocked by anything. I'll check after this next rain to see how it's doing. If I have to water the cups individually in the middle, then I'll just water it individually. But that looks absolutely gorgeous. And we'll have to see how much food it produces. Just keep your eye out for bugs. That's what I'm doing. And if leaves get too big, I just prune them. And I do... usually about 3 times a day I will rotate it because sometimes the sun lands over there. I will just spin it towards the sun. But this gets sun, I mean, down here. So, you know, this one I don't have to spin as much. This one I do because it has bigger things. But I love it. I did put all my plants in one basket, so to speak. And we'll have to see how it goes. But this is a rainy update on... This is the Greenstalk leaf planter. This is the original. And in the back, which maybe I'll make a quick run for it. Well, not run, but a quick walk for it. I will show you my other one because it won't be as wet back here because of the tree. But this is my other leaf, Greenstalk lettuces. the arugula was not the slow bolt arugula. It's got flowers, so I'm going to rip all that out, give it to the chickens. I have a video of me doing the cut and grow again method down here. I cut it back. I think I'm going to continue to do that for the whole entire summer and see what this does. That's another experiment that I'm going to do. This one is not on the spinner base because I took it off because I needed it up there. But it's time to harvest some more lettuce. I'm going to cut this with scissors. And what was in here? I'm trying to think. Shoot, it's probably in the video. Anyway, I pulled it out and I put beans on this layer. Still have lettuce, the arugula, not the slow bolt, and you could see it's starting to flower. And then this was densely planted, but it's doing really good. The lettuce is back here because it's a little bit more shadier back here, like I'm not getting poured on right now. The only problem here is I'm not back here that much, and things are being not taken care of as well, or you have branches from the tree. This is this big tree, and this is what she's under. So it's only getting a little debris from the tree. Swiss chard, doing good. I'm probably going to be making frittata. Stay tuned for that because I have some Swiss chard and stuff that I want to use up that's in the fridge. Sunflower. Don't know what got planted in here, but here's the red one. Okay, this was a spinach and this is bolted right now. You can see this. So I will have room to put something else in here, and I gotta watch pulling that out because, oh, do you guys get this? Do you see that bug? Where to go? Hold on, bear with me a second. I don't know if you could see it now. Anyway, we call them pincher bugs here. I don't know if you get them in your state, but I gotta watch the way I pull this spinach out because I don't want to pull up the sunflower because something else has been destroying all the sunflowers around here. And the red lettuce is doing good. Just the arugula. The arugula went to seed, my friends. Let me wipe off. I had to wipe off the back screen so it doesn't look bad, and it's next to my petunias. So this is where it is. It's back where the fire pit is. But it's doing good. And yeah, I butchered it. Like I cut it really, really low. So you see it is coming back. I'm going to try to see if I can continue to do that. Take the bad leaves off and just let it be like a cut and grow again. And just keep cutting it for the entire season. We shall see. But like I said, I haven't been back here. And this one's wild. And I'm going to have to chop it. So I don't know, maybe some BLTs or something. So yeah, this is the leaf one, my other one, and it's back here as a salad bowl. It's spinach and all kinds of good stuff in here. This is called the red velvet lettuce. So that's that. That's the tour on that one as well. It's starting to rain pretty heavy here. I love you all. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of my Greenstalks. I forget who it was that asked me if I'm turning it. Am I worrying about shading out? I am. I'm just trying to watch it and pay attention. And, you know, if I have to adjust a few things or get another trellis, you know, or makeshift a trellis, I might have to do that. Let's walk up here because it's raining. There's the garden. Stay tuned for that video. And this is all done because, I don't know, we got crappy dirt and put it down so the dogs would stop digging and add more grass seed. So I love them. I think that they're looking great. They're looking phenomenal. And thank you everyone for joining me. And stay tuned. Like I said, I'll bring you along throughout this process. I tried to do this one a little bit faster and it's still a longer video. So I guess we'll just have to deal with it. Love yous all. Like I said, leave me a comment down below. And I will see you on the next video. Okay, I gotta run in. I'm getting soaked and so is my phone. Love yous all. Bye.